Hello guys, how are you doing? Today I would like to talk a little about myself. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a great fear of the water. Not only the sea, but large rivers and lakes also affect my fear a lot. And recently, I found a game that has made me experience this fear in a very intense way. I'm talking about Subnautica. As I know about my fear, I've obviously always avoided this type of environment. I've never been on a boat, and I've never enjoyed in the summer going to the beach. But experiencing fear through images was something that always caught my attention. No wonder the pool rooms are my favorite levels of the backrooms. So today we are going to do something a little different. I don't want to do a complete analysis of my experience with Subnautica, but rather talk about my fears and what it was like to deal with them. Different from what many people think, I'm not afraid of swimming pools or a bathtub. The fear of the sea is much more related to the lack of knowledge we have about the sea, something similar to the fear of the dark. You are not afraid of the dark, you are afraid of what might be in the dark. Which leads me to think that fear of the sea could be a natural response for our brain. After all, when you use it to live in caves, we had to learn to be careful with predators and environments where humans are not skilled, like water. That being said, the beginning of the game is very calm. After all, here the waters are crystal clear, the animals are harmless, and we are not swimming in deep waters. The only thing that bothers me is the view. My fear of the sea is also related to the loneliness of being in a huge place completely isolated from the civilization. Imagine the mix of peace and fear that it must be like to work on an oil platform. However, my tranquility here didn't last long. Soon I discovered the kelp forest. This biome is very dark, and as the kelp does not allow the sunlight to penetrate deeply in the water, here the discomfort caused by the feeling of loneliness starts to grow. Do you understand how this is a fear that does not necessarily depend on the depth or threads present in the water? The absence of light and the greenish color are enough to make me feel bad. Marine life can be scary sometimes, and in this game, you learn that the hard way. When I was exploring Aurora, the giant spaceship in case you hadn't noticed it, I was in very dark waters, probably because of all the sand and dirt that the spacecraft crash caused, and you probably know what happens now.
Monsters Nitro on Xbox!
Encountering a Leviathan for the first time is part of Subnautica culture, and these creatures are the biggest threat present in this game. The way it moves and how small it makes you feel is a terrible feeling for me. I was at peace until this demon appeared. There are other creatures in the game besides it. At the beginning of the game, we can also find the Reefback Leviathan. These are less intimidating, so you can explore them more closely. I even found this one with part of its body sticking out of the water, which created a very beautiful scene. Even though these animals are peaceful, they still cause me some discomfort. Large marine animals are also a problem. Whales are very intimidating to me. Giant squids, even more. There are also warpers. They don't scare me, but they are quite annoying, like in this part where they keep teleporting me out of my submarine. This was just being annoying, but then a Reaper Leviathan appeared and everything got terrible. I was scared to go up, but if I stayed, the warpers would end up killing me. So after a long time, I ran away, swimming very close to the bottom of the sea to prevent the Leviathan from noticing me. Having said all that, you can imagine that Reaper Leviathans are the animals I hate most in this game, right? No. The sea-treated leviathans are the worst. They don't attack you, but finding these animals always bothers me. As I've said before, large sea animals cause me a terrible discomfort. But at least, the animals I've seen so far have been in clear waters. Or at least they had already been clear one day. But not these guys. They are deep in the ocean, where sunlight is non-existent, so imagine swimming in the middle of complete darkness until you come across a giant creature walking in the horizon. And finally, the sea dragon Leviathan. I don't know much about him, I only found him this one time so far and I haven't gone back there. Hmm, at least he's not in a dark place. Submechanophobia is a fear of submerged human-made objects, either partially or entirely underwater. This fear acts a little different than thalassophobia on me. Submechanophobia is much more related to the feeling of powerlessness of human beings in this world. Humans are very fragile animals, and our advantage of other animals is our intelligence, but we are not the strongest or most resilient. Here we need to talk about a part of the story that I wasn't expecting. The game has a story that involves aliens, a viral infection capable of destroying planets, and from what I've read about, some of the Leviathans in this game even have logical reasoning. This reminds me of Rico the Dolphin, which starts out as a cute game with a happy dolphin, and then suddenly the game turns into an abyssal nightmare. I know. The structures present in this game were not made by humans, but the terror caused by seeing buildings apparently belonging to an advanced civilization being consumed by the water is something I can explain, as if the feeling I mentioned previously was worsened. As you can see, I haven't finished this game yet. The story seems interesting, but it's not the best part of Subnautica for me. I can play this game again in a few months or years, and I will continue to have the same feeling, even if at the end of the game you have the necessary equipment to face the monsters of the sea without fear. Subnautica can without doubt create a living open world. I really feel like this map exists without me. You feel like the world of Subnautica is alive, and you are just a small part of it. The game does this so well that the first time I played it, I was expecting something like Minecraft, an open world game based on exploration, where the game's lore would be something almost optional. This just shows us how Subnautica impresses you with the life of its open world. As I said previously, thalassophobia is closely related to the immensity of the sea. I don't know many games that represent this so well, because games that take place entirely in the ocean aren't that common to see, but Subnautica balances well the vast emptiness of the sea and its dangers. Playing Subnautica has been a unique experience. I would really like to explore other games that give me this feeling. I know that recently the franchise received a new game, and I will definitely give Below Zero a chance when I have the opportunity. And I would also like to know about you. Are there any media such as games or films that explore some fear in you? I know, currently your games are very tied to the lack of creativity in jump scares, and I kinda miss games like Silent Hill or Fatal Frame, where horror is also present in the environment itself. Yes, Subnautica sometimes scares you with a loud sound and a monster attacking you, but that won't always happen. Just swimming in dark waters without being able to see clearly and hear the sounds of the ocean is already scary. Anyway, use the comments to talk about your fears and experience. Maybe I will bring this style of video more often, but I still have to think about it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This video was very different from what we are used to do, so don't forget to tell me your opinion about it. This is a topic that I really like, and I intend to bring it up again. So I would be very happy if you suggested a game that looks like the subject of this video because I only know the dolphin game. Anyway, we are done for today, and I see you next time.